Welcome to 100 Yards Football. Today I got my NFL Legend video special. Today is about one of the best receivers that ever played the game at a high level. His name is Otis Taylor, by way of Prairie View University, by way of the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you like the video today, please comment and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. Otis Taylor. What more can I say? Growing up in Memphis, Tennessee as a youngster in the late 60s, early 70s, Otis Taylor was one of my favorite football players. He played the wide receiver position and played it at a high level on one of the greatest teams that won the Super Bowl IV champions, Kansas City Chiefs. And he was like putting gravy on potatoes back in the day, in the South, as we say. Being at my grandmother's house, Mrs. Leela Turner, and she had that great gravy and was pouring on those great mashed potatoes she made. And it was so good. That's what Otis Taylor was at the wide receiver position, man. I told a story about me and another friend of mine that went on to play football at Memphis State University in Jerry Knowlton. And when we was in the fourth grade, the Kansas City Chiefs were our favorite team. And you know what? Otis Taylor was our favorite player. 6'3", 215 pounds. Houston, Texas. Prairie View University. Ken Houston, Jim Hunt, Jim Mitchell, Jim Kearney, Glenn Woods. Man, this guy was outstanding and was mean too. In 1971, after he had got a little older, he led the NFL in receiving yards that year, 1,000, 1,100 yards, 79 yards a game. It might not seem much, but it was very high at that time. His career, 410 receptions, 7,306 yards, 57 touchdowns, 17.8 yards a catch. Plain and simple, he's a Hall of Famer. And it's very, very sad to my heart that he has not been inducted. Came in the league in 1966, averaged 22 yards a catch. In 1966 on the Kansas City first Super Bowl team, he averaged 22 yards a catch. 1971 All-Pro. But the skill set, think about this for a moment. Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Tariq Hill, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown. Now I'm going to get back to Mr. Otis Taylor's skill set back in the day. Sprinter speed, A+. Tremendous athlete, A+. Run after the catch, A+. Inline blocker, A+. Ball reactions, A+. The separation, A+. Now I'm going to go back to the receivers I just named. Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Tariq Hill, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown. All that seemed like it's similar to Mr. Taylor's skill set back in the late 60s, early 70s. But really what set me apart about Mr. Otis Taylor in the game back in the day and of today, go back to Super Bowl IV. He caught that short pass, took it 42 yards for a touchdown, stiff-armed his way down the sideline, and high-stepped. It still gave me chill bumps at that moment. I went back and watched that play over 20 times yesterday. That's how special Otis Taylor was to me. And I want everybody that's watching this video, please give him a prayer because he's not doing well. But he changed the game at the wide receiver position in the National Football League. Not no Don Hudson. Not no Raymond Berry. Not no Fred Biletnikoff, who's a Hall of Famer. This gentleman right here, Otis Taylor, is one of the best in my top 10. And I don't want to hear about the yards. I don't want to hear about the stats. All I know is during his time, he was the best that ever played. And there was one other thing I want to mention. My memory of Otis Taylor was Kansas City was playing the Oakland Raiders. I believe it was in the 71 season. And Ben Davidson speared Len Dawson. You can go look at it on YouTube. And who came to his aid? Now, Ben Davidson is about 6'6". At the time, about 290 pounds. Played in the Conan the Barbarian first movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Otis Taylor ran up and put that wood and put them hands on him. That's how much he loved his teammates, and he loved that team. And then after the game, he became very successful. Went in the banking business, did well. Went in the coaching business, did well. Everything he touched brought money. So it's my honor today to give kudos to Otis Taylor, who should be in the Hall of Fame. And man, when you think about football, and especially me, growing up in Memphis, Tennessee in the late 60s and early 70s, it was two teams I had to watch. It was the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. And that great athlete at 6'3", 215 pounds would come out on the field and make plays that I thought I'd never see. That was special watching him play for Kansas City, man. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. And if you really is a true football fan, if you're really a true football fan of the SWAT, what you need to do today after I finish this video is reach out to Otis Taylor and send him some mail. As I told you, he's not doing well. And the one thing about Otis Taylor, see, you always go on what other players say about you, your peers, and what other coaches say about you. Lamar Parrish, who played with the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the greatest corners that ever played in the 60s and 70s, had this to say about Otis Taylor. It's plain and simple. When you talk about speed, when you talk about athletic ability, when you talk about a guy that's hard to bump and jam at the line of scrimmage, a guy that had everything. He said Otis Taylor was the best he faced, and he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And when I think about Otis Taylor, as I ended on him, I think about a basketball analogy. You know, Otis Taylor had a little grace to him. So he reminded me of a young man out of Detroit, Michigan that won the Olympic gold medal with the 1968 Olympics, gold medal with the American team. He went on and had a decent NBA career, but when he was 19 years old at the time, he went to Mexico City. He put on a show. He had the same skill set as Otis Taylor, and his name was Spencer Haywood. So Otis Taylor was the Spencer Haywood of the National Football League when Mr. Taylor played. Outstanding player, man. Need to be in the Hall of Fame. 410 receptions, 7,306 yards, 57 receiving touchdowns, 1966, average 22 yards a catch, career average 17.8. So my final words about Otis Taylor. Ain't no mountain high enough. Listen, baby. Ain't no mountain high. Ain't no valley low. Ain't no river wide enough. Otis Taylor, you were special back in the National Football League during your time by the lake. As the great Diana Ross put it plainly, ain't no mountain high enough for Otis Taylor. With my blessings and my prayers to you, Mr. Taylor, I hope somebody across your family run across the video, and I want to send you much love, man. You're one of my all-time favorite football players of all time. And you are the creator of the wide receiver position. I want to hear about no Randy Moss. I want to hear about no Julio Jones. I want to hear about no Antonio Brown, Tyreek Hill, even the great Jerry Rice. This man started. Otis Taylor. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. Thank you for watching One of the Odds Football this morning, and special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers. Many blessings.